Well, being an expat in Pattaya is a wonderful place. But what do you want to do when you want to play some of your national sport? Well, for French nationals, there's a new petanque field down in Soi Kop Hai. Joining me, I'm very privileged to have the French ambassador to Thailand, His Excellency, your name, sir?
Thierry Vito.
Thierry Vito. Thierry Vito. Your Excellency, welcome to Pattaya. You've been here for a couple of days now. You were at the Pullman yesterday for a very nice lunch and a dinner, right?
Yes, I've been here for since yesterday. I arrived as a usual visit to the French community living in Pattaya. That's the second time I'm here. The first one was in January this year, and I make it a point to as often as possible to come and visit my fellow countrymen. I'm quite happy to be here today because this is quite an unexpected event. I learned only early this week that I was asked to inaugurate this petanque field, and I'm quite happy because it's beyond my usual duty as ambassador, but it's always a pleasure to share the interest of the local community. Sure. And so I was quite happy to see that in this association there are so many people, adherents, I would say, over 300 ones. And what I would like to also to stress is that also they organize a competition, and most of the time the profit of this association, of these events, goes to charity purposes. And I think it must be underlined, and I think it is very good for our image and also the association, and for Pattaya also.
Sure. Well, you're right, of course. Today you're represented by the Rotary Club Marina, which is the French-speaking club. I think also the Club Ensemble, which is the French-speaking expats club. Mm-hmm. And when they get together for these games of petanque, yes, you're right, they're raising money normally for needy causes. And the tournament that's taking place in the next day is for Banjing Jai, which is an orphanage for obviously for small children who are orphaned. But this is wonderful kids. But it's wonderful that the community the French-speaking community can get together. Now you said 300. Is that 300?
This is 350 something, or maybe it's one of the biggest association in Pattaya.
I think so.
Yes. Well, French-speaking association, I think.
Sure.
Yes.
Do you know how many French-speaking nationals there are in Pattaya?
Yes, there are two kinds of French citizens here. Officially registered at the consulate in Bangkok, it's 1,300. But certainly we have to at least double that number, and we think that roughly 3,000 French citizens are living in Pattaya, and you have to add also all the tourists who come on a yearly basis to Pattaya to spend some holidays. So I think every day or every week you may have about 10,000 French-speaking people here, and you have to add also those francophone people, like the Belgians or Swiss or Canadians, and so I think it's a rather high number of people living or coming to Pattaya who speaks French and who, if they want, can enjoy this wonderful place.
Well, this is what I was going to say. Wouldn't it be great if we can, now encourage the people who are visiting Pattaya to come and have a game and to, meet their fellow countrymen, and maybe meet an ambassador.
Yes, I was quite happy. Though I wouldn't limit the number, the visitors to the French citizens, but also, as I said, to the French-speaking ones, because this is definitely a francophone place, and so all those who can speak some French are, I'm sure, most welcome to come here and to enjoy a game. As I was here today.
Yes, and you did very well.
I don't know. I usually play on the beach,
Really?
It's so different from the ground is so different, and I suppose the way to play is also very different.
Okay. So you still play? I know it's your national.
Well, it's a sport, but it's also. I mean, everybody on holidays have or do play petanque as a leisure. I would say.
My final question before you rush off, you said about how many French-speaking people there are in Pattaya, but what about in Bangkok? How does that convey in Bangkok?
In Bangkok, this is the biggest community. We think we have roughly between 5,000 and 8,000 French people living in Pattaya. All over the country, we estimate that we have 23,000 French people living permanently. Officially registered, there are 10,600. That is to say, those the consulate knows they are living here, and you have to add the 600,000 tourists visiting yearly Thailand, mainly in the seaside resorts, but also in Chiang Mai. So it's a huge community, and then a huge responsibility for the consulate to take care of this community. I'm quite happy to see those many associations. You mentioned a few of them in Pattaya, but there are some others in Pattaya. All of them have their utility, and I'm quite happy that they can work together as much as possible and for the common good of the French community, and in close cooperation, partnership with the local authorities. I think this is very important.
Well, it is important. You're right. So how does it work with the consulate here? Is there there's not a French consul in Pattaya?
No, because it's too close to Bangkok. So what we do is that every month, for a day, some of my people from the consulate come here and have spend a day receiving fellow countrymen who need to have some administrative papers. So once a month, they come from 9 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and so it prevents them from going to Bangkok, especially those who have some difficulties to move or.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, Your Excellency, it's great that you've came down today. I hope
Thank
you've
you so
enjoyed
much.
your time in Padilla.
Welcome, Cap.
And well done with your little game of petanque. Are you going to play some more, or do you have to rush off?
I have to rush off. I have some appointment this afternoon in Bangkok, so I have to go. But it was my pleasure to be here. Kokoma Cap, merci beaucoup.
Okay, you're very welcome. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we mentioned the Rotary Club of Marina, and I'm very pleased to be joined by the president, Gerard Pacon, and also the president of this new sports field, or the club for the petanque here in Padilla. His name is Jean-Luc, but Jean-Luc doesn't speak too much French. Well, that's what he's telling me. I think he had too much Pernod last night, and maybe he's got a bit of a hangover, right? Gerard, you're going to translate, but I'll address my first question to you, Gerard. How do you feel about the ambassador coming down today to launch the inaugural part of the field?
It's a very, very great day for everybody and for the French community in Pattaya. This is a very, je vais te, c'est, Paul me demande ce que représente pour nous la visite de l'ambassadeur à l'inauguration de ton stade, et je réponds que c'est un grand honneur, et c'est un grand honneur pour la communauté française.
Tout à fait, ouais, tout à fait. Pour nous, c'est important que l'ambassadeur soit venu officialiser le nouveau site de pétanque de Kauai.
Yes, it's a great day for the club. The ambassador come to make the inauguration of the Boulodrome.
Okay. Now, this is you're having a competition, which we'll film a little bit tomorrow, but you're having a competition. Now, this is in aid of Banjing Jai, yes. Right? Is this something that you do often? How often do you do it? Do you always support Banjing Jai, or do you support other orphanages and things? How do you work as a club?
Well, this I can answer. It's the first time we organize a competition to support the orphanage of Banjinjai. But the Rotary Club of Pattaya Marina support permanently this orphanage. And yesterday we visited a new orphanage, and with the French embassy and the French consulate, we have to see what we can do for this new orphanage. But we want. So now we start to cooperate with all the French association in Pattaya, and we want to organize a tournament like that, or some events every month for the children.
But that's wonderful.
Yeah, we try.
Yeah. And the ambassador, he was saying not only about the French nationals who stay here, but the French-speaking community, like the Belgium and such like, but also the tourists. So tell me, how are you going to let the tourists know, the French tourists, how are you going to let them know that this exists, and that when they're on holiday they can come and meet their countrymen and have a game?
Yes, but
it's a challenge.
we have a website, and the French people, before to come here, they check, they click, they look everywhere on internet. And Kauai, it's one of the first when they want to come here to play. Last year, many people, many French tourists came to visit me and asked me where we can play petanque. And of course, I came, I showed them, and.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. All right, so if you want to play petanque in Pattaya, you don't have to go and play on the beach like the ambassador sometimes has to do. You can come to this wonderful new petanque field, which is just off of Sokopai. As we've been speaking, the website for Rotary Club Marina has been on the website. Click on there. I'm sure all the details are there, right, Gerard?
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is Paul and Gerard and Jean-Luc and the ambassador, someone in the background, saying goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Je vous demande de faire une ovation à les ambassadeurs et monsieur le consul qui sont obligés de rentrer et de prendre la coque. Donc je vous demande d'applaudir très très fort monsieur l'ambassadeur et monsieur le consul. Merci encore. Énormément. Merci.
Merci encore. Et puis, je souhaite que demain soit un succès aussi demain soir, parce que la cause est noble. Donc je vous remercie de l'organiser et merci de votre générosité aussi. Merci beaucoup.
Merci.